Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity 2. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today here in I forgot the name of the place, but we're talking with the two powerful mages, Llengrath, who is a different iteration, maybe, anyway, of Llengrath, and she's okay with us. She doesn't want to kill us or make us suffer or anything, so we're okay with her as well for the moment. And also with Thane, whom we haven't met before, I'm pretty sure, and they're talking about the body of whale. That's where the tentacles come from. The body of whale being down below, which is interesting because they were also talking about the body of Abaddon, and them finding the hidden body of Abaddon in the White March, because it was hidden. The Abbey of the Fallen Moon is supposed to be a hidden place, and so is the body. And the reason why it is supposed to be a hidden place is the body itself. Of course, that's all what the expansion is about. In the first game, how did that go? There was the sea. I'm not gonna sing. It's just a beautiful poem and beautifully sung. If you're in the tavern at, well, the tavern is called Graves Rest. I forget the name of the village in the White March, but there's somebody who sings it, and it goes something like this: the sea beheld her love, shining bright from on high. She bade him come down from his palace in the sky. I should have prepared for this. Her love could not be swayed, so she took a piece into her heart, and all who saw her grief that day sleep in her bosom still. And that's such a beautiful poem, so amazingly sung, and it's the story. It's basically the story of the expansion of the first game, and without any spoilers, which is amazing, and I love it. So Llengrath here is saying the Circle has been speculating on the existence of the goddesses' bodies ever since. Yeah, I thought there were more bodies. Especially Elthas, considering that Elthas has a body for sure. I wonder if we're going to be able to touch on that. I also saw Abaddon's remains at the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
This body is a good deal fresher than Abaddon's.
She snorts and returns to Maura's writings. Her ill humor is short-lived, though, for she soon grimaces and meets your eye again.
We believed them all gone. Not just dead, but destroyed by the god's own hands. Obliterated. This one, it's still alive.
All gone. This is gonna be interesting.
Makes you wonder what has Maura so excited.
Thane considers his surroundings with a thoughtful grin.
As nice as it is to take in the scenery, is everyone else thinking what I'm thinking? Huh? I mean, the answer's staring us in the face, literally.
No one understands your manic rambling, Tane. Speak plainly or be quiet.
Len, you of all people shouldn't be so short-sighted.
Do not call me Len. I'm not one of your little imp friends, Tane. I am your colleague.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just get to thinking about how much time we save by cutting out a few syllables now and then. But here I am wasting words.
Thane clears his throat and refocuses. I'm trying to place his voice actor. I think I know his voice actor. I don't know hers though, but it's a voice to you could swim in her voice. Beautiful voice.
Look, we have an unconventional problem and it needs an unconventional solution. I don't think Maura came this far just to hug some tentacles. She wants to wake up Wal's body and send it after Eothas.
That's a terrible plan. That's a terrible plan. It is not gonna work. Also, it is a terrible plan. I can't allow it.
Hasn't our Maura always said that a well-placed tentacle can solve most of life's problems? If she wants to take a swing at the big green guy, who are we to stop her?
It's speculative to assume that Maura even wants to awaken Wal. Doing so would involve meddling in matters far beyond her comprehension.
She taps a finger against her lips, thinking.
Or something she understands all too well. You don't know. Give her some credit, Len.
You give her more than enough for the both of us, and far more than she deserves.
I think it might be Hiravis's voice actor, and that's the mannerisms that I'm detecting in his voice that I that I am finding familiar. It might not be Uravia's voice actor. I don't know. Well, this facility is enormous. Mara could be anywhere.
How about you spearhead our little search party? Len and I will keep an eye on this handsome antechamber where it's safe, or in case she doubles back. Fair warning, when I was poking around, I ran across some creepy librarian types. They were happy to look the other way as long as I didn't disturb their work.
In the meantime, Tane and I will see if we might learn more about Wal's Titan form.
Yeah, we're calling them Titan, aren't we? We haven't addressed the imps in the room, by the way, so why are there imps in the room?
You know, I was enjoying their company so much that I never once thought to ask.
Tane squints down at one of the creatures.
Came from stinking Arkamir's house. Was told to help stupid Watcher groundmeat.
Watcher ground meat? I assume that's me, because the Watcher. The imp grimaces and waves disdainfully at you. Yes, that is me.
Master gave orders to fetid spray. Come talk when ready, eh?
The second imp waves a sheet of ragged parchment over its head like a banner.
Where nasty Fasina go? Why is she not here? Have orders for her too.
Fasina is another spell maker, if I'm not mistaken. I have the impression I killed her, though. The imp scowls, looking past you towards the entrance.
Brilliantly done. What fluttering marvels they are, imps. Well, question answered then?
Tane returns his attention to you and smiles pleasantly. You're sending me in there alone?
You weren't alone, you brought friends.
Tane smiles at your companions. I do wonder if there is a I hope there is a check if I'm alone.
Besides, Len and I, our kind don't work well in pairs. We'd probably disagree, separate the party, and get everyone killed.
He shrugs.
More like you'd get us killed.
Mara is as good as found.
No matter how Tane whines, Wal's body, if that's what this is, mustn't be awoken. The Deadfire cannot bear another calamity of Aothis' scale.
What happened to your spirit of adventure?
Tane smirks and shakes his head.
Watcher, friend, are we on a first-name basis yet? Call me crazy, but I think you should do whatever feels right. What's the worst that could happen?
These tentacles grow until they consume every island in the Deadfire, and we all become mindless thralls in a never-ending tentacle nightmare.
Huh. And you're saying that's the bad outcome, am I right?
Tane strokes his chin and nods.
We can continue this debate later. Right now, our chief concern is locating Maura. Maura could have only gone two places, up in the archives to the northeast, or down into the collections to the southwest.
This is the southwest, and this is the northeast. I'm very good at directions.
Maura's journal suggests she went to the archives first, but that could always be a decoy. I did hear some unpleasant noises coming up from the collections.
Tane hugs himself and shivers.
Hope she's okay.
If you'll begin a search of the wings, we'll scour this area for further information.
Llengrath nods and turns away. Okay, annotated history. That's not what I... Why are you... Right. Why was it selected? I don't know. Anyway, we are going to find about the annotated history somewhere. And there it is. Forgotten Sanctum. It is a DLC. So what is... Oh, yeah, we got two of them then. I need to enter the archives and I need to enter the collections. Good. Well, thank you very much. Can I talk to you a little bit more, though?
Hey, you. Glad we finally get a chance to talk, one-on-one, away from the rest of the rabble.
Tane shoves his hands down his pockets and winks.
I can hear you, Tane. I'm right here.
It's good that we're on the same page with all of this.
He spreads his arms wide to encompass the whole of the antechamber.
You know, Wow, and his great big body.
Actually, I haven't decided what to do about it.
Really? Well, here's a little advice from Tane. I would try really, really hard to figure that out. And soon. Between the two of us, I did a little exploring of my own before you showed up.
He talks, covering one side of his mouth, though his voice carries across the hall.
You haven't been to the collections yet, have you? It's just down that way. You'll hate it. There's a bunch of different people trapped in there. Lots of kith in some kind of stupor. I think they've been here a long time.
Oh. Did it ever occur to you they might be locked up for a reason? Oh, actually, I don't want to ask that. Yeah, I thought that, they might be... I thought the question was going another way. We have to get them out of there.
I agree, but that may only be the first step toward helping them. The prisoners, it's like this place tore out everything that made them them and left a bunch of statues behind. Except statues don't usually shamble around and cry.
That is an interesting thing.
Take this. It's a spell that should wake the prisoners up again. Let's make sure you read it somewhere they'll all hear it.
Thank you. This parchment is sloppily scrawled with arcane runes, drawings of animals, and practice versions of Tane's signature. Tane thinks the spell can help the prisoners of the collections get their memories back, provided that the words are read where every prisoner can hear them at once. And again, it's sort of reminiscent of Ondra, the goddess of forgetfulness. Or not forgetfulness, but I guess forgetting. So I need to recite it like in a stage?
Use your imagination.
He smiles and shrugs.
Head west out of this fine antechamber and the collections are right down the stairs. Can't miss it.
What do the halls obscured need with mindless drones anyway?
Maybe they knew too much? Rare information seems to be the currency of this place.
That also makes sense.
I'd suggest that you ask one of the prisoners, but they aren't very talkative.
So what exactly does your spell do?
Let me try and put it in terms we both understand. This place has a way of unplugging people's heads and letting the memory stuff drain out. All that stuff kind of blends together. The memory of someone's first kiss gets stuck to the memory of the price of hagfish. My spell gathers the memory stuff into kith-sized chunks and stuffs them back into people's heads. No one leaves with the same memories they came in with, but at least everyone gets an equal slice.
That's reasonable, I suppose.
Could I, maybe get a copy of that spell? I have some friends in the Brass Citadel who might be interested in some light mind control. I'll even split the finder's fee.
Those people deserve to remember their stories, their lives, but at such a cost.
This sound right to you, Watcher? Shouldn't we be guiding these poor souls towards the light?
Actually, that is a good point. They're basically as good as dead right now. We would be recreating them just in a mess. Actually, Shody's got a point.
Sorry if I got a little technical there.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Doesn't giving people random memories seem irresponsible? That's one way of putting it.
Of course not. See, a brain needs memories like a sewer needs waste. Without the waste, it's all just tunnels. Give it a little time and these prisoners will be their old selves again, just with some extra fun. Maybe someone will wake up and realize they can play the harpsichord or speak Valian.
I mean, I'll believe you, because if it's fantasy, it's fantasy, but that's not how memory works.
Wouldn't that be a nice surprise, huh?
I'll consider it. No promises.
I hope you can do some good down there. I hate to see so many people without a single good idea between them, you know? Like the Deerwood.
Dane folds his arms and sighs.
The Deerwood has plenty of fine ideas. Most involving fire, and things you can set on fire.
This guy right here. What a sport.
Tane points at Adair. Yeah. What do you know about Whale's body?
If there was a day in Wizard College when they talked about god bodies, I might have slept through it. Based on what we've seen, I'd say Maura used this place to nail down her tentacle spells. Lucky her, there's tons of inspiration here.
How did you become an archmage?
My father donated to all the best colleges. I earned a couple of free degrees until I found something I was actually good at.
That I see.
I owe a lot to my father, including an apology. He always said he wanted an archmage in the family. Kinda backfired when I dropped the surname. It's just Tane now. Hi.
He smiles. Why'd you drop your surname, though? You don't just say that and not explain. I mean, I understand why he would have backfired, but you can pick the surname back up, and because it's not like you're not gonna apologize. You can't apologize for dropping the surname and continue without the surname. That's not an apology. That's like stab somebody in the chest. Let's not go the face, because otherwise you're gonna kill them. And then ask for and it's an apology, and then continue just with the dagger there and just slaughter. Sort of. I'm so sorry this is happening. Yeah. I mean, maybe apology might not be the word, or maybe I'm thinking of a type of apology that is different than what he's thinking. Could be. You aren't as academic as your colleagues. His hint, there's two hints. One is that he said, put it in terms we will both understand. And the other one is that he keeps using composite verbs in a weird way. Like, for example, nail down her tentacles. There is a nail down her tentacles? Or do you mean to nail her tentacles down? It's not very common in this game. I've seen other characters that say it like this, and he's recurring like that, which means he's written to be like that.
Thank you. Wait, that was a compliment, right?
Sure.
I know I don't fit in with the rest of those book learners, but I've got it where it counts.
He holds his hands over his heart. Okay, that's better than I was expecting, actually.
Thinking is a big waste of time when you've got raw, unvarnished instinct on your side. If I worried about research, safety, or ethics, I never would have cast the first chaotic orb. You do know about my chaotic orb, right? That's my spell. It was really popular when I got it into circulation.
That's your spell. I think that's the only spell Tane has. Tane's Chaotic Orb. I do believe I know what that is. That was introduced in the second part of the expansion. With the level 18. No, was it level 16? Maximum level that you can achieve in the first game. I'm not really sure. But I think that was introduced there. And I didn't use it because it sucks. It's not, no, actually it doesn't suck. It's just, it's chaotic, and I'm not a big fan of that. Although, there is the Wall of Rainbow. There's a spell that's really cool. I can show it to you in a little bit. That is really, really powerful, but it is also a little bit chaotic. I don't know who made it, but yeah. Do you see a grimoire or a familiar? I'm not a wizard.
Oh, sorry about that. Sometimes I forget about the folks in the more routine lines of work.
I'm a cipher. Actually, am I? No, I was a cipher in the first game. I'm not a... No, I am a cipher. I'm a chanter cipher. I am the least routine you can find.
I worked really hard on that orb. First time I ever applied myself. Once wizards started using it all over the world, there was all this talk and fanfare. Have you seen this thing? Look at it go! Those were good times. These days, no one asks if I'm that Tane anymore. They don't tell you in Wizard College that achievement can seem downright underwhelming.
I mean, acknowledgement is as good an objective as any to make things, I suppose. I mean, especially if you're a wizard, people are just going to use the spell anyway. Any thoughts about your colleagues in the circle?
Nenagauth keeps a bird skull in his pocket. He pets it when he thinks no one is looking. Don't tell him I told you.
I believe you. You really want to awaken the Titan?
What? The prospect of sending a mountain of eyes and tentacles to wrestle Aothas isn't enticing enough for you?
He chuckles softly.
Wouldn't it be boring to let a body like that molder and rot? I think we can do better. I think Aora deserves better. Even if it knocks over a castle or two, I think the fun will justify the cost.
Says a wizard who clearly ain't ever had a castle.
Shodi lifts her chin in interest. Yeah, that was a reference to what happened to me, for sure. Also, yeah, it's just gonna kill people, like Aothas does, sort of. It's bad. It's bad. Anyway, let's read the thing that we got last episode, because I sort of forgot about it. It's not there. It's here. Tane's... Oh, no, this is the scroll. Okay, this is what I need. Kia Hoha. Betrayal. It's a grimoire. That wasn't it. Was it a book? Oh, it's that one, right. Mara's Fill Book. It's not a quest item. Despite a pervasive dampness, the pages of this notebook separate with ease. Written in Huana, the text describes... So Huana is a language as well? I mean, suppose. The text describes a vast subterranean life form of fleshy tendrils and shuttered eyes. The stranger sections refer to establishing a communion with the entity with the aim of conjuring forth arcane simulacra. Towards the end of the field book, Maura writes, Whale, the 100 visions, the obscured, the eyeless face. I believe it you who rests within this darkness. The you that once walked the world. Why do you survive yet? Why haven't you awoken? Can you be turned against the Dawn Stars? That would be the followers of Elthus. Does he not threaten your mysteries? Will you not introduce him to his final dusk? No. This is an expansion, which means it doesn't interact with the main quest. It's nice that it does. It's nice that it's sort of, like, you know, much like the Beast of Winter also, it's got some, you know, interactions with the quest in regards to the themes. Not so much in regards to the options.
Look there.
Oh! Yeah, I'm taking your stuff. Before I... No. That's good enough. Before I talk to Llengrath.
Now we may speak with something like privacy.
She casts a hooded glance in the direction of Tane and shakes her head.
Tane has asked something of you.
She beckons you forward with a discreet wave of her hand. Yeah, he wants me to free the prisoners in the collections.
And you accepted. How terribly large-hearted of you.
She raises an eyebrow. I didn't say that.
Forgive me my assumption, then. Word of your good deeds precedes you.
Oh, it's good deed. Okay, well, I guess we're all in agreement then.
What Tane asks of you appears a mercy, but it's only a selfish attempt to bolster his reputation. He's a devious child who delights in making the rest of us clean up his messes.
That sounds about right.
Many of the poor souls held captive here have been so for decades. Anyone they knew is likely dead, their old lives gone. To return them to the world with nothing is a cruelty.
Nah, it's not for me to make that call. If I can return them to the world in the first place, then that's a good thing, I suppose. I'm thinking the game isn't gonna dwell on that, on the possibility of them not actually being themselves when they return. I think it's just gonna be, you know, is a life devoid, not devoid of memories, but I guess only of memories, a life worth living. And well, first, again, it's not my call to make. And also, yes, a lot of people do that, and every day, all throughout the world, including this one, the world of Pillars of Eternity.
The gods only know what havoc these broken people will wreak with the information Tane intends to give them. Lay their souls to rest. Return them to the wheel.
Wanton murder. Apparently, that would be. Well, I can't claim that I know all the things about the metaphysical aspects of this world, so I guess I'll really have to see them for myself and just try to make a decision based on what I see. If it's just literally husks that are going around, then it's not murder. It's kind of the same as what you can do in the end of the first game, in the main campaign of the first game. You have souls there, and one of the options, which is the option that we did, is to return the souls to their bodies, and the souls of the people who don't have bodies anymore or whose bodies are dead, they just go back to the wheel. There's other options, and basically all the options that you'd expect to have, they exist in the game. It's like 6 different endings, just in regards to the main quest alone. But it's not murder in the sense that, you know, you're dealing with a soul. Murder is necessarily about the body, unless you kill the soul as well, in which case it's double murder. But, you know, it's like if you kill somebody, you don't kill their soul, the soul just goes elsewhere. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to try to figure that out when we see it. I'll consider it.
That's all I ask. This scroll will aid you.
She pulls a crisp new roll of parchment from the folds of her robe and closes your hand around it. And she gives me Llengrath's scroll of final slumber. This scroll is decorated with runes drawn fastidiously on a tidy grid. The significant arcane energy underpinning the runes causes them to glow with a faint fluorescence, and staring at them, too long slows the beating of your heart. I was trying to, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, because it's for the slumber. It's not necessarily fluorescence. I mean, if it is fluorescence, it is fluorescence. But fluorescence is specifically to do with fluorite. I think the technical term is lume. Even if it is fluorescence, the technical term for the effect of things self-illuminating is lume, I think, in English. Not sure. Llengrath believes the spell will give the collection's prisoners a peaceful death, so long as the words are read where every prisoner can hear them at once. She didn't actually say that to me, but she will.
You need only read the incantation scribed upon it, preferably in a place where all may hear it. Their deaths will be swift and painless.
With a curt nod and a heavy sigh, she turns away. She pats at her hip absently, looking for something out of habit, and finds her grimoire. She flips through it slowly, her mind clearly elsewhere. Well, I guess we have our options right now. We also have... Interesting, we can just keep going. We came from here. Right? Yeah, this goes upstairs. Yeah, let's go there first. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pillars of Eternity 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode when I talk to Fetid Spray, because that's actually where I needed to go. Bye.